stick around until the end of this video as we tell you all about the best moments that these two loudmouth masked vigilantes have shared.
Hey, it's Deadpool coming at you from cyberspace. Why does my voice sound so robotic? Anyway, are you leaving after the intro? You were gonna click on that puppy video, weren't you? Or maybe open up an incognito window. Ugh, you're naughty. Keep watching. I promise it gets much better after this intro. Oh yeah, this is a new channel, so like, comment, and subscribe.
Deadpool almost kills Spidey by mistake. Nothing ruffles feathers worse than a case of mistaken identity, and in one of Deadpool and Webhead's earliest meetings, let's just say that things weren't initially copacetic. It all starts with Wade Wilson still deep in the whole gun-for-hire game, having been assigned a job to take out a reporter at the Daily Bugle. So like the good hitman that he is, he scopes out and ultimately springs his plan to eliminate his target by hurling them out of the vehicle off a bridge when he sees the pundit driving in a car with none other than Peter Parker. Well, Deadpool should have done a little bit more research because he ends up yeeting Pete and only realizing that he got the wrong guy after the fact. But this is Peter Parker we're talking about. He's Spider-Man, so no 100-foot fall would put an end to the web slinger. Naturally, the wall crawler comes swinging for Deadpool moments later, and a good old-fashioned brawl ensues between the two. The best part here, though, is that in true Deadpool fashion, the Merc with the Mouth quips and breaks the fourth wall during his tussle with the friendly neighborhood webhead, constantly referring to Spidey as Tobey Maguire. That time, Spidey helped clear Deadpool's name. Wade Wilson works in a morally gray world at best, so it's not a surprise that other far less savory figures in the Marvel Universe would have him in their crosshairs. Case in point, classic Spider-Man villain Tombstone once framed the fourth wall breaking mercenary for a crime he didn't commit. This results in Deadpool getting hunted down by a who's who of Marvel street-level heroes, from Frank Castle aka the Punisher to Daredevil. There's one stand-up dude who is willing to believe Wade's innocence though. It's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. The two red spandex-clad heroes then spend the rest of their team up dishing out zingers about each other's enemies until they ultimately have a city-shattering confrontation with construction worker-themed supervillain team, the Wrecking Crew. The outfit proves too much for Wade and the Wallcrawler though, and their confrontation only ends when the Punisher helps them with an arsenal of weapons the merciless anti-hero had stolen from other Marvel supervillains. Of course, you can bet that two of the house's ideas of quippiest characters had something to say about Punisher's tools of the trade. They know an overkill when they see it. Deadpool kills Spider-Man. For real this time. Believe it or not, this match made in Marvel heaven isn't always peaches and cream. There are instances, particularly in a few of Marvel's many multiverses, where Spidey and DP's relationship is adversarial at best. And we're not just talking about a friendly rivalry here, we're referring to life-ending confrontations. One of these moments happened when Deadpool, after receiving an insidious psychiatric procedure at an insane asylum, inadvertently let loose an evil voice in his head that told him to kill everyone in the Marvel Universe. And boy, was Wade more than happy to oblige. He started tearing through the Baxter building, killing Reed Richards and his entire family in the process, before finding himself amidst New York's cityscape to deal with its resident web slinger. It was a hard-hitting affair that, surprisingly enough, didn't have as many quips as you'd expect from the two. Instead, DP tried convincing Spidey that they're not so different, which the web slinger empathetically rejected. But what makes this moment extra notable, and absolutely one that's gonna leave a mark on you after you've read it, is the sheer cold brutality with which the Merc with the Mouth ended Spidey's life. Deadpool didn't use any convoluted plan or sci-fi doodad to pull it off. He just pointed a gun right at the Wallcrawler's temple and pulled the trigger. When it rains in the Marvel Universe, it definitely pours. Deadpool and Spidey spend a day at the movies. You can always count on two of Marvel's wittiest superheroes to deliver some of the best sizzling zingers this side of pop culture. And arguably one of our favorite Spidey and Deadpool moments ever, the two masked vigilantes take a breather from bashing villains' heads to have themselves a nice night out. You heard that right, Pete and Wade have gone on a classic man date, and it's a testament to how perfect they are for each other. The two bros go to the movies to watch a film called Nighthawk vs. Hyperion, Yawn of Boredom, which is basically a a stand-in for the real-world Zack Snyder-helmed snooze fest that was Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. And as you would expect from a character that has made a career out of breaking the fourth wall, Deadpool tore the movie a new one. Even better, Spidey might not see eye to eye with Wade on a lot of things, but they sure as hell agree that Nighthawk vs. Hyperion was one of the worst movies they've ever seen. Seriously, Spidey and Deadpool's critique of it is so good, you'd think you're reading an issue of Mystery Science Theater 3000. Spidey and Deadpool, two men and a monkey. One of Marvel's most hilarious team-ups between its self-healing hitman and wall-crawling heroes happens when the infamous simian assassin Hitmonkey went on its holy mission to eradicate the Marvel universe of evildoers, and Deadpool is right on the chimp's hit list. So what does an insane mutant merc do when he finds out that an expert monkey assassin is hot on his trail? Get help from his best bud Spider-Man, of course. You'd immediately know this was going to be one off-kilter adventure the moment Wade greets the webhead in his trademark meta way, literally referencing the Amazing Spider-Man 611, the issue in which they most recently met when he sees the wall-crawler. Spider-Man, always the logical superhero, tells Wade to just let Hitmonkey shoot him and make the chimp think he's dead. He'll regenerate anyway. Unlike Wolverine though, Deadpool doesn't have a thing for PTSD. He knows he'll just heal from any wound, but that's gonna hurt. A lot. In the end though, Hitmonkey manages to put a slug in Wade's head and the merc gets sent to prison. Spidey's not one to leave a bro hanging, however, and he helps Deadpool break out of prison not long after. Now that's what we call friendship. When Deadpool turned Spidey's turf into Jurassic Park. It goes without saying that Spidey wasn't too happy about it when Deadpool brought in a herd of carnivorous dinosaurs to his section of New York after the Merc with a Mouse time-traveling adventure to the Cretaceous period. To make matters even worse, Spider-Man and the rest of Earth's mightiest heroes were already dealing with a symbiote invasion before DP let those dinos loose. So of course, the gooey aliens bonded with their time-displaced reptiles. And since Spider-Man is more than familiar with the extraterrestrial symbiotes, it's no surprise that he had to deal with the dinos and Wade's quips as they tried to stop the creatures from wreaking havoc all over New York. Everything works out in the end as the symbiotes ultimately get separated from the titanic ancient animals, and Deadpool sends them back to their rightful time period. And clearly frustrated, all Pete could do after is tell the Merc to be a good boy while he's gone. Are you noticing a little bit of a pattern here? If you ask us, Wade's doing this on purpose just to have an excuse to hang out with his old web-slinging pal. Pete and Wade's Schoolyard Antics. Believe it when we say that Spider-Man and Deadpool's relationship truly shines when they're not fighting crime. It's during these times when they get to act like regular people, at least by superhero comic standards, that we see their dynamic in full display. You can witness the wall-crawler and self-healing mutant's purest form of love-hate brohood within the pages of the aforementioned Amazing Spider-Man 611, wherein after getting into a classic superhero versus anti-hero showdown, DP and Spidey take it to the playground for a couple rounds of witty banter. By that, we mean the two guys straight up tore into each other in a game of Yo Mama jokes. Yo Mama's so stupid, she tried to get bailout money so she could afford to pay rent, says Deadpool, to which the friendly neighborhood wall-crawler retorts with, Yo Mama's so stupid, she thinks Cheerios are donut seeds. Sadly, their verbal beatdown was cut short when Deadpool pulled out of the contest. Just our luck, as it was right before the Merc with the Mouth was about to drop what he called Mama of all Yo Mama jokes. We can only speculate what sort of great punchline Wade had up his sleeve. Deadpool takes one for Spidey. Let's be honest here, Spider-Man has had some of the weirdest supervillains in his rogues gallery, and not all of them work. Sure, you have A-listers like Green Goblin and Venom, but for every worthy adversary the web crawler has to face, you get a handful of throwaway villains like Chameleon or Tarantula. Speaking of Chameleon, the guy might not be a big name in Marvel Comics, but he's proven that he can put Peter through the ringer. This all happens when the reptilian villain turns Spidey into a neurotic mess after repeatedly assaulting the superhero. Deadpool discovers this and, like the true bro that he is, comes up with a plan to switch costumes with the web slinger to bait Chameleon and ultimately defeat the villain. Of course, Wade has his fun dressing up as Spidey at first. Before confronting Chameleon, the Merc with the Mouth made the rounds and defeated a few of Spidey's other rogues. In fact, Deadpool couldn't have been more excited to experience the whole web-slinging deal. Once Chameleon catches up to Deadpool, the wacky anti-hero, and Pete, donning Deadpool's own own suit, team up, and put an end to this reptile-themed menace. As a sweet bonus, Deadpool even managed to improve Spider-Man's rep while he was swinging around the city during his romp. Deadpool and Spider-Man Starcrossed buddies. You'd think that after everything they've been through, Spider-Man would at least be open to the idea of revealing his secret identity to Deadpool. Sure, some of you might argue that that's a bad idea to let a murderous, unhinged mutant know your personal details, but come on, they're buddies. Well, it's not like Deadpool could find out about Peter even if he tried. There's a force that prevents Wade from finding this out due to the fourth wall breaking universal awareness, the same quality that allows Deadpool to get all meta and know that he's a fictional character. The result is, all the merc with a mouth can see whenever Spidey takes off his mask in front of him is a featureless outline of a face. And when Spidey tries to mention his real name, Peter Parker, all Deadpool can hear is a loud censoring beep. Of course, there's a meta explanation for this, as Marvel's writers play into Deadpool's whole fourth breaking wall shtick, explaining that the publishers will never allow the merc to discover Spidey's true identity and ruin their fictional universe's status quo. It's a fun little detail, albeit just a little bit sad. It's almost like Spidey and Deadpool are Marvel's Romeo and Juliet. Deadpool makes Spidey forget he's a superhero. Deadpool has got a lot of time travel adventures under his belt, and this particular encounter with Peter Parker might very well have some serious consequences in the Marvel timeline. It all starts when Flash Thompson, Pete's high school bully, decides to do the very dickish act of parking his car in a space reserved for handicapped drivers. Deadpool sees this and decides to deliver his own brand of justice to the jerk, so he hijacks Flash's ride and drives off. Peter witnesses all of this, but doesn't even bat an eye when Flash gets his comeuppance, thanks to the merc with the mouth. But just as Deadpool peeled off that road, the part-time Daily Bugle photographer realizes that letting Wade go might end up with Uncle Ben getting shot again. 1, this implies that Uncle Ben is still alive in this timeline, but that's not the kicker. What stands out in this Spidey Deadpool moment is how Pete also realizes that letting Deadpool steal a car might end up with Flash getting shot somewhere down the line. Remember, this is Spider-Man we're talking about. We've seen him spare the life of a man who killed his girlfriend and seen him literally make a deal with the devil to save Aunt May from a coma. But all it takes for Pete to forget that he's a life-saving superhero is a high school bully like Flash Thompson, and Deadpool helped him realize that. Well, that's Wade Wilson for you. He's a regular guru, even though he never intends to be.